It's been a pretty awful year, but finally hope is on the horizon, and this pipeline should be in the ground very shortly. Albertans and Canadians are in desperate need of some good news. It's been a pretty awful year, but I figured it was important to sprinkle in some good news with all of this tragedy that we've been seeing throughout the year. Albertans and Canadians should know exactly what's happening in their backyard. There's been some massive progress on the Keystone XL pipeline. Boots are on the ground in Keean, Alberta, and shovels are about to break it as heavy machinery comes in, and they're going to be laying the Keystone XL pipeline that is southbound to the United States. Now, of course, there's been a lot of protest in the United States and in Canada by a few radicals, but the will of Albertans, Canadians, and Americans has overpowered that very small amount of protest proportionately, and that pipeline is going through, and it will be exporting, hopefully, assuming Joe Biden isn't able to cancel it before the pipeline is actually built. That pipeline will be exporting beautiful Alberta product to the United States. We're going to be driving all the way to Keean so that we can get some great footage of what is happening, because a lot of people don't actually know what it looks like when a pipeline is going in the ground. A lot of people aren't aware that these massive strides are being made despite what you see in the news. Of course, the mainstream media is trying all the time to make you think that these pipelines aren't going to happen and these protests are overwhelming, but that's not the case. Albertans are winning this fight, Americans are winning this fight, and this pipeline is going to be built. And we're going to go show you today. Now, once we got to Keean, it wasn't actually too hard to see where the construction was happening. It's not a very large town, granted, but it is absolutely buzzing, which is huge news for rural Alberta and Alberta, a place that has been disproportionately affected by the global economic crises that we've been seeing recently, from the coronavirus to the downturn in the oil and gas industry. Now, you can see right here behind me, this is the heavy machinery that is going to be used to build the actual pipeline. And this drone footage that we got is actually building a campsite for the workers that will be working on the pipeline, and there are a lot of them. This pipeline is going to be creating about 1,400 jobs directly, and indirectly it's about 5,400 jobs, and that's just in Alberta. It's a huge amount of jobs. It's going to be employing engineers, surveyors, different contractors. It's going to be employing hotel workers and fast food workers and everyone in between. Now, this pipeline is a result of an investment from the Alberta government. Justin Trudeau wasn't doing anything to help this pipeline. Nothing whatsoever, because of course he's on Joe Biden's team. Joe Biden, the radical Democrat who wants to cancel the permit of this pipeline if he gets into office. He's going to be putting everyone that you're seeing here in this drone footage out of work, and thousands more, because he prefers to rely on OPEC oil. The purpose of this pipeline is to secure the crude oil supply for North America. It's not just an Alberta project. This will help North America be self-reliant on our own crude, a demand for which is continuing to increase despite what you see on the mainstream media, despite what Greta Thunberg tells you. People still need crude oil, and it's best that it comes from home rather than getting blood oil from OPEC countries. I'm not sure why Joe Biden prefers that, but he does. Donald Trump has approved the permit, something that was sort of sitting on Barack Obama's desk for quite some time. Donald Trump has actually helped, along with Jason Kenney, to employ these thousands of people here in Alberta. Now, I'm happy that we were finally able to report some good news for Alberta for once. It's been a pretty awful year, but finally hope is on the horizon, and this pipeline should be in the ground very shortly. In Keean, Alberta, for Rebel News, I'm Keean Bexte. Hey, thanks for checking out our coverage here in Keean, Alberta. Be sure to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. And if you haven't done so yet, ring the bell right next to the subscription button. If you do that, YouTube can't redirect your traffic to mainstream media sites.